We're definitely going to talk about you guys fucking up. All right, let's ride.
Spicka Span Show!
1 0 2 1 0. What up, everybody? Look at that banner. Hey, yes. World Cup. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
Over.
We've got a packed show for you guys. It's over. We're on vacation. Dude, I jumped in the ocean yesterday. My body was in so much pain. Camille made me walk from here all the way to the beach and back. On the way back, we stopped at the store. Thank you, Pate Smith, also, for that badass stroller that we moved mountains to get. Look at that thing over there. It's got shocks, hydraulics on it.
Whoa.
Now I have to walk everywhere with Camille. She's like, you probably don't want to go on a walk, do you? And I was like, I guess I could. My body doesn't hurt. I was up at 3 getting on the airplane.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get an air horn to congratulations.
Up at 3.
Yeah, my flight was at 7. And anyway, long story short, we're back, baby. We are back. Excellent. This is going to be an awesome show. I'm really excited. I'm going to throw this up again. Like, come on. Look at these guys.
Boom.
Look at those guys. Camille goes, I think she was joking, but she messages me when she sent me the Paintball Fit thing from NXL when they're all celebrating and everything. And she goes, hey, some of your guys got a little bigger. And did Alex get really tan because she's pointing out Chavez?
She was joking?
She was joking.
Oh,
She was joking.
okay.
It was a good joke. It was a good joke. And Choli Boss. So, hey, thank you, Nick SLOWIAK. Gifting some memberships. Also, Kyle, before I forget.
Thanks, Nick.
Did you sit on the magazine? Oh, that's your magazine. You got a magazine. You got to change your address, dog.
Oh, sweet.
We've got a lot of announcements, maybe some juicy rumors, some news. I don't know. I know some things that I don't really know if I should know. I was wearing my tie-dye shirt, literally put it on right when Camille got home, and Miles barfed on me twice. I even wiped it off the first time and said, you know what, I can get through this. And then I decided not to. We got a bunch of tie-dye shirts that are going to be going on the Spicka Span site. They were live at World Cup, but we just actually didn't know they were there at World Cup. Until it was too late. I could have put them up in the booth with you for Tiger Wear. It had a big drop. Like, get wild with that thing. Get wild with that thing.
Oh, good thing we didn't get live with it.
Those are somewhat of collectibles items. There's been a pause in the release of those magazines.
I heard.
Yeah. So if you got a Gap magazine, cherish that thing because there might be a redacted issue coming out later. And there are 2 covers, both of which are really cool. And that's also why I don't wear clear lenses, because I look terrified at all times. No, Patty Rice, only my t-shirt has the barf on it. The other ones are wrapped in plastic. He wasn't near all the box of stuff. But big shout out to Alex FRAIGE. Episode 2 of Great American Paintball is out. This one is just as good, if not better, than the other magazine. There's a bunch of old pictures in there. Those are pretty cool. Brian Cole. If you don't already have one of these things, you haven't been able to get your hands on it, dude, you need to do it. Like it's just an ode to the magazine. Like if you haven't held
that's me.
a magazine before, look at that, you made it. Dude. So let me look at the multitude of the schedule here of what we've got. One thing, we need to get up to 100 likes before we do any giveaways. That's for sure. I want a big shout out to and thank all of our show supporters. Everybody who tunes in every single week. We love you guys. Everybody whose name is in green. You guys rock even double. And then our lovely sponsors and show supporters, Pate Smith Law, just gave him a shout out. He gave us a stroller.
Like the BFP.
BFP Gear right there. There's our man Junior. There he is.
Wow.
You look at that. You could be as excited as that guy right there when you're buying stuff from BFPgear.com. Also, Arfon and Gen X Global, he was out there at every event at the NXLs, making sure everybody's got fresh pods. We've got a fresh pod caddy. That was supposed to go to Damien behind the magazine, but we're going to give it to one of you guys pretty soon here. Also, with all that said, in the NECTR boys, of course, I'm not going to show off this NECTR Force, but this thing has sang its last tune right here. This will be a giveaway. I'm not gonna get it too close because last time we did this, we got shut down. I'm gonna be giving that thing away, and during the annual Spicka Span charity drive, which will be launching probably like the first week of December, somewhere in there, and that will be the grand prize. Is your very own NECTR Force from the NECTR Boys. I think badass. Also, I got these cleats from Bluebee Customs. Well, there's some New Balances, and I wasn't gonna wear them. I did that. I keep doing that every time you stacked it. I moved something. But Marky, dude, this is some fantastic work. I'm not really a Yu-Gi-Oh or Dragon Ball Z guy, but a lot of you guys are. And
Is that what that is?
I think so. That's what someone said. And these are actually pretty cool. And I wasn't gonna wear them, but Yoshin, the guy, said they're pretty cool if you had a World Cup game worn cleat. They're gonna be cleaned up before someone gets them, but this will be also a prize. Yeah. So I wore those in a Rebel match. So anyway, there's going to be a huge prize package for that annual charity drive. So just stay tuned for details on how you can get your hands on that and tickets and everything. And we're gonna have tons of stuff from our sponsors, from Gen X Global, of course, BFP Gear, HORMESIS, Tigerwear. We got this Tigerwear collab band. This is gonna be going into the pile of stuff. I'm just amped for this show right now. Can you tell?
Yeah.
Like zinging. I'm so amped. And then also, hey, Sal Chavez, what up, dude? And big shout out to Sal Chavez, dude. He crushes it with his videos. He's on it.
I talked to Dan Napoli too at the HORMESIS premiere of All That Matters, and he's like, "How many shows have you guys done now? Like, how long has it been now? Like, I don't know how many we missed. Like maybe 4 in the last maybe 4 shows.
Yeah, like last week might have been one of the first shows we missed in like years.
Yeah. Maybe it's like once a year.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oliver's in here.
And Cyrus the Virus. And then obviously big congrats to I almost called him AC Diesel again. The PB Fit Boys. Hey, congratulations to AC Diesel, huh?
Thank you.
Let's give it one to Kyle. Captain Kai. Right there. If these guys could actually have any mental toughness or any bit of humility whatsoever, you probably would have maybe even won the event. Unfortunately, you guys fall apart like cheap watches. But it's so funny because just really quickly, like talking about, and I talked to Mark about it too, and it's no it's no secret that you guys, 2 guys suspended. I think you guys got 5 majors in the game, and so I'm so excited to have the PB Fit Boys on, Chavez and Colt, here in a little bit, but to kind of talk about the rivalry. But man, like, you guys had it, and you guys were playing so good, and it's actually crazy because on Friday night, the premiere for All That Matters, you guys saw the preview here, the trailer here on the show, and we can play it kind of towards the middle or towards the end of the show. But Mouse's part was at the very end.
Yeah. And
I know that they had kicked around a bunch of ideas on how to portray his piece in particular. And usually, generally, when you look at action sports shows or like videos like that where they're highlighting a bunch of individual players, like the last piece, like the end cap, is like your best player, like or the coolest part, right? So Mouse got the honors of that.
Yeah.
And originally, I believe, because everybody who was in the movie, who's featured in the movie, and everybody had like this cool little monologue that they spoke about, and everybody was great. Meters was awesome.
Best music, I think.
Yeah, his music was pretty cool too. I mean, Mouse's having the Pixies was sick, dude. That was like, wow.
Where's my mind?
Yeah.
Good.
And it originally was going to be an interview with everybody else saying something about Mouse, and he wasn't going to have any speaking part in it. But that interview that he gave was so telling, and it was actually like, it was so personal and raw.
Yeah,
and he's just, and basically to give you guys a gist, because you guys will have to watch the film because it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And there was a piece on the Yak Max and Bart, and like that kind of gave me chills. It was so good, and it shows like why and how they're in it, like why they're in it. It's not just like, hey, it's a hobby for me. It's like a passion, and it's a family oriented thing, and it's something that they owe themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like that was such a cool piece. But Mouse's part specifically talked about how confident he is, but then how easily rattled he is. and then you guys go and play PB Fit. And I mean, he wasn't really the one.
No, he kept it together.
He kept it together. But man, it was like that. What a just a shit show, man. Oh man, it was just such a shit show.
Yeah, the universe was like in our favor, and then
the universe was just saying this. It was like, all right, hey, you guys know you could do good. You know, I know you can do this, but I'm not gonna give it to you all right now.
Yeah,
don't think you're going from last to first.
Yeah.
So here's a little frustration I'm gonna throw at you.
Yeah.
And then congrats to PB Fit again. There is a PB Fit emoji in here as well. If you guys want to throw that up, we're gonna get the boys on in about 10 or 15 minutes here. As I get them, and I guess BFP Junior and BFP just sent me a message. He's like, we're so amped for the show. Also, we got a $100 gift card to give away to one lucky viewer. So thank you, Junior and BFP and Gina, of course, both of them doing really cool things. Actually, also just in general for paintball and the paintball community up in Northern California. They got the field, they got the stores, and it's awesome to see that people care. He's coming out to the events. He was like instrumental in our success lately. It's just he's the poor guys from Britain, from England, where the sun doesn't shine a lot, and we've got him cooking up in the grandstands from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. from sun up to sundown. He is just in there, loaded up on Brute sunscreen, going over every single game.
Why don't you guys get some VIP passes for him? So
we should do that, but I think you can see better from the top. You got to be all the way top.
Maybe
that's why the Russians used to do it like that. It's sputtering. Does anybody else? So El Clasico 1980. You might be on dial up right now because I believe that our we're ripping over here. Zero drop frames.
Of your room?
What's that?
You put a little globe out?
Globe out?
The globe? The Wi-Fi globe?
Oh, yeah, Wi-Fi. No, we're good on Wi-Fi. I think he's just up in Connecticut. Doesn't have good Wi-Fi up there. And then we got Cyrus in here. Dude, I'll tell you what, also.
These guys?
Yes, I did. I got Matt and Paintball on the wheel. I also just love, and we're gonna get in depth of that, but I know that there's a bunch of PB Fit fans already in here, and congrats to Cyrus on the Golden Barrel Award, very well deserved, and everything that those guys have done was pretty cool. And I don't want to.
I gotta give a shout out to you, Cyrus, because I said that like as you guys are winning, I was like, I wonder who's gonna win the Golden Barrel. I was like, I think it's Cyrus, and a couple people I think around were like, no, it's Chavez, and I was like, I don't know, like. What he did was a really hard job.
The middle.
Playing that float spot almost every single point, like regardless if he got shot and kept going back to it. As I mean, you and I both like to do that and know how hard it is to like go to that zone and play no bunker in the middle of the field over and over and over, and be able to read the paint and make decision on where you want to shoot as the horn goes off. So props to you, dude.
Yeah, those spots. Oh wait, maybe the emoji didn't pop up. Those spots are tough, and it's like such a guessing game. And props to Impact because they were able to identify and neutralize Archie quite a bit in that spot there. And that really hurt us, obviously. Why didn't that thing upload? Yeah, I got it here. Do I see it in there? I don't see it in there. Maybe you guys might have to refresh your screen, but for some reason, it was supposed to be that one. Anyway, look at that. BFP. Kyle, VIP is for weak assistance.
Weakest assistance.
Let's see. Also, so we're gonna recap World Cup. We're gonna recap the diesel, any rumors and off-season stuff that we thought about. The schedule for next year. We're going back to Atlantic City. I just don't quite understand it. There are some economics behind why we're going back to Atlantic City, but I'm not,
Beautiful place.
It's a beautiful place. And then, some ideas and some, I think we got the WCPPL schedule also out there and up to date. And then I want to hear from everybody who's watching right now, what are you guys going to do? Are you guys playing with the same teams? You want to drop some juicy news right now? Say, hey guys, sorry I'm walking. I got an offer. And then also, what's interesting is none of the top 4 teams won their first game out of bracket.
Oh, the
Yeah.
yeah.
Remember we talked about that. You're like,
Yes.
is it a disadvantage? And we're like,
Yeah.
no, I don't think so.
Of the teams in the champions
teams.
bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, there was something flying right there.
Yeah, I was talking to Misha about that too as well after the event. It's like kind of tough. You get because the games aren't, don't have as much weight. They're kind of like exhibition games, and you're not seeing like people fight and do everything they can to win their match.
Yeah, but see, I just don't. Yeah, Scalp was the 0-4 team this year. I just don't believe that though. Like, that's on you. That's a mentality thing. You can't go into it thinking, because I mean we've done it a couple times.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
And it worked out great
yeah.
for us. And it is tough, right? Because you are like, dude, it's scary in that bottom bracket.
Yeah.
Dude, I was nervous the entire time. Like, luckily the Tontons didn't really show up at this event, but
Yeah,
man,
that was interesting too.
Our bracket was really tough.
Yeah.
If you think about who we had, and our easiest games were our last two, which are our toughest on paper. I mean, Blast Camp gave us a hell of a match.
Yep.
Uprising, dude, those guys are just getting better and better. And then we just walked all over Revo and Tauntauns. And I was like, man, something's gonna happen. I'm always thinking that, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bring up the rankings there. And then, big bummer to NYX. Those guys just still couldn't get it together to win. They went 0-4, I think.
Yeah.
And dead last, got relegated. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to those players because, when a team goes up and a team goes down, I don't consider any of those guys on NYX really to be like the bottom of the barrel pro players. Like PK, really good.
Yeah.
Taylor, really good.
Jerry Caro.
Yeah, Jerry played really well. Dude, those guys are good players,
Yeah,
and
it is interesting.
It's interesting. So it's gonna be. I'm wondering to see where they're gonna go. And I heard a couple guys from Aftershock might be leaving. Thomas Kim has like a real job, doing flying. And then A-Rod said he was going to retire, but
he said that a couple times.
I've heard that a couple times. And so who knows, right? Who knows?
And then I heard like maybe a team was gonna, I don't know.
Sell
Heard
their spot?
a rumor floating around that the Hurricanes could be done, but I also heard that that's not true. So.
And then there's going to be a big shakeup with some of the pro teams, kind of restructuring. What does Heat do? That's a real question.
Yeah.
What does Heat do? Yeah, Oliver, this one's for you, buddy. I heard you really liked Modelo. You had to have a lime.
Yes.
I wish you were here. Cheers. Also, it's the off season. We're on vacation. Plus, we're celebrating. We might even break open the Macallan in the back. You never know. And then Tony's a PB. Where's Goldman going? Is he going to Damage? Is he going to Diesel? Does he stay with Diesel? Is he going to Impact? It'd be crazy if Bart took him back, though. Is he going to Heat? He's kind of burnt them a couple times, but it's Mouse, so,
I think at the beginning of the year, too, Heat was talking to J-Rab, which would have been a great move for them to grab J-Rab this year.
Dude, they need to do something. I don't understand what is going on with that team. They go 4-0 in pretty much every prelim, and then they lose in the first round, and then they take 5th place. And that's kind of like the story of their season, right? They're just ranked higher in the end. Last year, the Champions Cup, they went 0-4 or 0-3, and then lost in the first round, 0-4. This time, they won one match and then lost the next one. It's just, and again, you look at the guys, and you're like, dude, these guys are good, right?
Yeah,
you got
fifth,
Tyler on your head?
5th, 6th, 7th.
Yeah, 5th, 6th, 7th. And then we got your team, right? Because at the end of the day, and I know, dude, shout out to, I told Mark when I saw him a handful of times. I like Mark. And I was like, dude, that post you made was so good, right? He basically made a post and was like, hey, here I am at World Cup. We could probably bring it up and I can read it. But the gist of it was like, I haven't given up and I'm not giving up and I'm going to see this thing through. Like, I'm not just going to I'm not going to get frustrated and be like, we should be better. I'm spending all this money. And you know what? Screw it. You guys are done.
Yeah.
Like, so props to him for seeing it through.
Yeah.
I know that there was some restructuring that he was trying to do, and then mid-season he kind of moved some bodies around. But really good job. And then also hats off to you, Kyle, because I know we've talked about it a million times about how good you are at coaching and how well you see the field. And you've been kind of trying your best to figure out a way to get the guys and the team to kind of listen to some concepts and ideas that you have. And it showed quite a bit. I know you played a little bit, and then you helped to do some of the coding and coaching. And I know Jesse told me personally, he's like, Kyle did such a good job with helping, like, with the game plan. And like you said, you're like, I kind of had an idea how to beat fit. And I don't know whose idea was to get 6 majors and suspended 2 guys. But if that was your idea, then maybe not. But I don't know if that was part of the
ego took over.
Yeah, the game script.
Took over my plays.
And as funny as it was with Clint's when he was shouting into the camera, great. I liked that. I do. That was funny. Wasn't worth it though, dude.
No.
It was not worth it. It was not worth it. It was not worth it.
It was good. We were up 2-0 in that match. And
I was watching.
Crumbled.
I was there. And yeah, so Tyler possibly to Diesel. I mean, there's a handful of guys that could use him. And honestly, like, if I were to say who needs a guy in the off season, and I don't know if X-Factor's keeping Axel, but I remember commentating.
I heard
Chicago.
X-Factor was.
What?
I thought I heard
they had to get a body.
No, they're
keeping
going to have Axel for next year.
Yeah, but not if you don't have him for World Cup. It's like, dude, what do we do? They have 6 guys. You know, you need to have 8 studs.
I thought I heard that at the end, so like it was an agreement made that Axel was going to play with Tontons at World Cup.
Yeah.
But then when World Cup came, he was like, no, I'm going to play with X-Factor. And they're like, no. Like, Trozen and Tom were like, you made the agreement already.
Yeah, and look, they I think Axel, because we were trying to pick him up at one point. I think when we lost Dalton one year, we were trying to get Axel, and he couldn't because of sponsorship issues. And we're like, look, and he goes, we're like, well, hey, would you want to play with us next season? But are you going to play with Tontons? And he goes, I'm going to play with the team that gives me the best opportunity to win World Cup. That was what he had said.
Yeah.
And so last year, that was his choice to go play with Tontons, and they did really well. And yeah, so I'm sure he was thinking the same thing, like, what team is going to give me the best? But, you know, it's kind of like one of those things, like, you got to make the decision before. You can't, like, wait till the end and then be like, I'm going to pick door number 2.
Yeah.
Right? But it was all said and done. It was all explained. But sponsorship is a thing. And yeah, Chris, I wanted to bring up that video of Zach Patient just getting destroyed. Shot so many times.
Where'd you guys go eat on Sunday?
Oh,
I have a bone to pick with Oliver.
We went and ate teppanyaki, and teppanyaki is for losers. It's a teppanyaki place right next door to Charlie's, and Oliver's like, let's go to Charlie's. We're like, we can't. We're losers. We can't go to Charlie's. And he's like, teppanyaki sucks. We're like, nah, it's great. I mean,
Oliver's like, I'm going to come meet
stunk.
you. So,
everything smelled so bad.
So Mouse, Jesse, and I, we were going to go to this little EDC after thing at this like hotel convention center. Oliver's like, meet me at Charlie's. So we go to Charlie's, and then he's like, I can't go with the team. I was like, all right.
Oh, you guys went and ate Charlie's?
I'll just eat this bill. Yeah, we just went to the bar and had some drinks and a really expensive steak.
That's nice.
Yeah. Just Mouse, Jesse, and I.
Oh, Mouse is rich. Y'all are rich, dude.
We'll take a little win. Charlie's deserved going from a 20th, 19th, and then a 3rd.
There you go. That's a win.
Take that.
For the way you guys were getting penalties, that's a win. That's the mentality you guys get.
It's crazy though. Even like from practice, once I think it was like on the first day, because early in the event, you were like, "What did you figure out?" I was like, "Well, I can't tell you yet." But for us, we were just like, let's avoid the middle, because when we would go up the middle, the way just like we're built with Diesel, I think is a little bit different than like some of the juggernauts or high veteran teams that have a lot of veterans. That we would maybe lose an outside guy and then we'd have someone in the middle and the field would get turned, because we felt like the middle guy, you know, if he was a lot of times just waiting or baiting a guy or not very active, it ended up hurting us. So we avoided the middle a lot. And kind of worked guys to the outside to look cross, like maybe 2 guys, and then the other 3 guys go around them. And that ended up being like a good formula for us.
Yeah, and actually we'll I'm gonna text the guys and let them know that the video is live right now. So you guys, if you're watching out in Texas land, Colt, you guys can jump in on that Zoom link whenever you're ready. Unless they're already in here, I'm doing it wrong. But yeah, the middle's interesting too, because and I actually want to talk a little bit about how when they get on, and I was commentating it, like a handful of their game plans, the fit guys, they put 2 in the middle.
Yeah,
which is like so like that's a crazy idea, and they just put Chavez all by himself.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about it, and I know that a lot of you guys who are listening to this love the middle because Division 1 players love playing up the middle. Is like as soon as you got 5 guys, obviously, and generally you double up on the outsides to one guy helps the other guy, and if the one guy dies, the other guy can jump in there.
Yeah. And
then you have a guy in the middle to like lock down a side or make a move, or if you leave somebody early, he can swoop around. You can do a power play on one side. The second you put 2 guys in the middle. Blake, charge. Second, you put 2 guys in the middle, you're leaving your one buddy on like an island.
Yeah. Or if you get shot.
Yeah, especially if
the
he gets shot
waiting,
and like everybody's in the middle.
When the guy's waiting and the other team has 5, you're kind of playing like a 3-on-5, even though you have 4. Because the other guy, and especially if he gets busted up there in the middle,
exactly,
then he's not going to be able to really shoot anyone unless he goes forward. Because waiting for someone to pop their head out and give you a free kill is non-existent, especially at a pro level.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And so yeah, you can leave me, Chris Shear. You can leave me every time we come off the field. Chris is like, "Hey man, were you behind me? Can you help me? I need help. I need help. I need help." And it was so funny because we did these short plays in practice, and so I would jump in. We call it the Utah, the little W on the side.
Yeah. And
so he'd go there, and then I'd fill out of the back center because you don't want to have 2 guys in that back center. Jump in there. And then I'd have, because you'd have to play inside because you could see every knuckle of the snake. And Chris would be like, "Hey, help me out. You got to shoot this guy." And so I'd come over the top to try to put somebody in. I get destroyed by the snake. It happened a couple times in practice.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "You just got to stay alive over there." I'm like, "Dude, Chris is telling me." All right, fine. So comes to the event. One of the first points, I jump in there and he's like, "Hey, help me with the back center." I'm like, "All right." Pull over the top. And I get destroyed by this snake guy against Uprising. I'm like, damn it. And then everybody's like, "Dude, you got to stay alive over there." I'm like, "Dude, Chris is asking me like every time I go in there." So I jump in again with him. He's like, "Hell, help me with this guy." And I laugh at him in the middle of the point. I go, "Are you fucking with me, dude?" And he's like, "Huh? No, why?" I was like, "No way am I going to help you."
I like it's Sheer Law, PLLC. You put like law videos up there on the, what's this, the YouTube account?
Sheer Law, PLLC. All right, here we go. All right, we're going to jump over to the NECTR projector. Let's see here real quick.
Oh, yeah, you do have some...
What's he got? How to
fight a case.
How to fight a case.
Best car accident attorney.
Car accident attorney.
5
All
tips
right,
if you're
let's
the
see
victim.
here. FaceTime. Yeah, there he is.
What that?
What's up?
Yeah, the champ is here. Hold on, hey, turn your phone sideways. I know you just like got it perfectly fit right there. He is. We gotta fill up that whole screen. How you
I
feeling?
don't even see you guys. It just shows like the Dynasty logo.
Oh, really? Let me turn my camera on. Watch this, dude. I got you.
There we go. There we
see
go.
us?
That's perfect.
Cool.
This is what we look like. You know what we look like. We're just trying to look at you. I'm gonna make you bigger, actually. Hold on.
Where's Chavez?
He's trying to figure it out right now. I sent him the link that you sent me. You might want to resend it to him personally. He's saying it's not working.
Let's see.
Is
it the same Zoom link as always?
Yeah. I can send it to you real quick. So, yeah, dude. So, how does it feel? What's going on? What's new? What's new, dude?
I mean, it feels good, right? Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's still not like really setting in. I feel like it feels like another tournament where I'm like, okay, I gotta go get better. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it was super, super emotional in the moment, and then after you're sitting there and you're like, well, I don't want to be one and done. So now I'm just like excited.
Back to the drawing board, dude.
Yeah, 100%.
No, and that's actually funny you say that, because that's kind of like, that's eventually, and I don't want to say that it winning doesn't get old by any means, but if, eventually that's what it is, right? You like, and that's pretty cool. And we kind of prefaced this when I was talking with Maddie up in the booth, was like, you guys have already been conditioned to win, so like you playing in that overtime point, it was a big moment for you guys, but you guys did that 5 times last year, playing in like a big moment. And while it's not the World Cup main stage pro, you still have been conditioned for that. You didn't just kind of squeak in with a couple wins here and there and then like have this like ease of entry. You know what I mean? It's like you guys have been there and you guys are pretty prepped for the main stage. And as you guys come on, I want to applaud you, especially for your guys' durability and endurance, man. This is not easy. And that 3-hour gap that they have between the semifinals and the finals, that sucks.
Yeah, no, I was chugging pickle juice because like my ribs and stuff started cramping, and I was like, all right, I'm fucked if I don't get something in me. So I was like taking electrolyte pills, drinking pickle juice, whatever I could, just to be in the right state.
Yeah,
No, for sure. And yeah, dude, it's like it was really cool to watch. I mean, that if anybody hasn't seen on Go Sports that final, like I would fast forward it to when it's 1-0. Impact, like don't worry about that first 8-minute point. That one kind of sucked. And then there's that second point and you're like, okay, well it was 14 minutes, 13 and a half minutes, or 13 minutes and 40 seconds for 2 points.
Yeah.
And then you guys are like, all right, well, this is where we got to pull our pants up and figure out what we're gonna do. And I think that Impact for sure had written you guys off.
Well, yeah. Also, here's another karma thing about universe, like just like ours, where we squander it by ego thing. Mouse and I were in VIP, and we went to get a beer, and we were like, "Can we get a Michelob Ultra?" And the lady's like, "No, sorry, this is at 1 minute before at 2:00." She said, "Oh no, sorry, someone from Impact just ran over here and bought all the Michelob Ultras." And I was like, "What do you mean? Why?" And like, because they were like, they thought they were gonna win. I'm like, that's exactly what you don't do.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, that's funny.
I love it. Well, it's funny that you say that. So before our match with the Russians, we're on deck behind Impact, and we're watching their match, and they were having a good match. But they were like, all right, it's time to go scout the Russians. And they said it right in front of me. And I don't know if they heard me, but I looked at them, and I was just like, you should probably scout us first before the Russians. And then, like, I know, like, Rob kind of looked and turned at me and then kept walking, and I was just like, they're writing us off. Like, and then we all use that as, like, hey, the team that knows that we win this match, they're going to play us, don't give a shit because they don't suspect us to win at all.
Yeah.
So, like, it was some nice motivation.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Dude, yeah, and that's Chavez just got in here, so let me pull him up here. Yeah,
hey
humility, dude. That's what we kind of talked about the last episode here. Let me put it so yeah. Turn yours sideways. If you can turn it the other way, we'll go gallery. Here. No, we'll go.
Hello.
Yeah, gallery, and then I'm gonna turn my camera off. There's a way to do this. Do you remember how to do this?
What do you?
Hide self view. Booyah.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. All right, Chavez, you're sideways, but we're gonna get here. We're gonna figure it out.
Okay.
Turn your phone. Turn your phone sideways. Oh well.
No, you gotta lay sideways.
Okay, that's fine with me. I can do it.
No, I'm joking, dude.
Is it a webcam or your phone?
I'm on my phone, maybe because
it might be locked.
Is there a screen lock on that thing? Yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
Boom,
yeah.
perfect.
There we go. Got you guys.
Better? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Well, not sure if you heard anything here, but congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys, you guys had a stellar year in general. I mean, you guys owned our asses every time you played us.
Yeah, they were kryptonite.
Yeah, everybody's our kryptonite this year, but especially them. Dude, we were just kind of saying like how impressive the run was that you guys on, which you already knew. But I think that like the way that you guys were playing the field, you kind of did a couple things a little more differently. But I think one of the biggest keys to your success is you guys were making it wide every time you ran. And then one of the really cool things that I admire about your game plan, and I talked about it a little bit, is that they would just leave your ass by yourself out there. And they're like, all right, You know,
No,
I don't
that's-
even know what the hell
that's
they tell you. You're gonna have to share that with us. Don't blow
Johnny
it.
just looks at me in the eyes and just says, "Survive." So I'm
Yeah.
like, I got you.
Don't blow it. And then and you made smart moves when you needed to make the smart moves, and you know, you were pretty crispy, and then you guys kind of had this little two-pronged attack up the middle, and you guys weren't super aggressive on any spot. Like, you guys would go into snake 3 and just chill. You guys were doing a great job of shooting off the break, and then yeah, like we talked about it, Cyrus was playing that little blind zone middle area really well on varying up the way that he ran those routes, you know?
Yeah.
And Colt, you can kind of attest to this. Like, as a back center shooter in pretty much either direction, you can't see where the hell anybody goes. You have no clue where they went on either side. But at least on the snake side, you're taller than I am, but you can at least know that there's one spot that you can shoot that you could probably get both guys right on the outside of that temple. But on the Dorito side, you don't know if the guy's going to go low and up to that inside Dorito, or he's going to go out wide. So you're kind of like, well, I'm going to just guess and then kind of hope. I had Oliver at the end kind of giving me calls on what he saw and what he thought the guys were going to run, which was helpful. But yeah, I mean, like, you guys played it not only flawlessly, but even like the Russian match, you guys you beat the shit out of them, you know? And that's like, that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
They beat the shit out of us in Chicago, so we had to do something.
Dude, they've beaten the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, they were scary this year.
They took them down. No, they were a solid team. We respected them. Even like when we practiced them at Tiki's, they looked really good there leading up to the event. So just practicing them too definitely helped out in our game, I think, you know, and just seeing where we need to put our guys. So they're good guys, good group of players to play against for sure.
So what would you guys say you'd attribute, like, I mean, there's a lot of things that attribute to your success, but I mean, you guys were on fire this weekend in particular. What would you guys say it was one of the preparation side? Like, what was it? What was the juice that you guys had this weekend that you maybe didn't have at the last couple of events, or that you built upon, or was it kind of always staggering and stacking? And this was just, obviously this is Colt's ultimate goal, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But what is it that set this event aside from the rest of them?
I think a big thing was, I think we had a kill off break 90% of the points. I think a lot of our game relies on that, and like this was an event where like the paint, we never had a problem at all. Mm-hmm. It was shooting ball on ball, and when it hit someone, it broke. So like it was really nice that we were able to dial that in at practice, and like we would set up different plays specifically to bully a side. So like how like Trenton would be playing the home with me to shoot that Dorito side, and it was like a 50-50 shot, like you were saying, because you had to pick whether, you know, they're running behind the W or in front of the W. Trenton was hitting that shot so often. I feel like we were playing 5-on-4 because like me personally, I fucking sucked off break this event. Like I was picking the wrong spot every single time, and I was just like, dude, I can't find this guy's pattern, but he was able to pick it right and shoot it the right spot so consistently that like 5-on-4, and I think that was the biggest thing. And then because at practice we were having that happen a lot, but we were squandering a lot of points, not losing them, but you know, be 5-on-3 and end up winning 3-on-1 when it's like, hey, why did those other guys die? And then we fix that. But I think having that happen in practice and being super hypercritical versus other events, kind of just being like, okay, that's a win on that point, that's a win on that point, and going through the motions. We were super hypercritical when we'd get a kill off break on how to close.
You guys shot, I remember it was in those first early points, like those first 5 points, he shot like Jesse going to diving into the laydown, one of the points.
Damn.
I'm like, where, Jesse, didn't you go short? He's like, yeah. I'm like, did you run and shoot to that thing? He's like, no, I just dove in. They shot me. I was like, fuck.
That's that shot from the blind zone, from that little, because you can pull right off the box and shoot just into that landing zone, and that's something that we.
And I gotta like hats off to you guys too, because like when I was like evaluating how you guys played, because you didn't deviate too much. Like before we went into your match, I had my laptop in the pit and I was like going through some of your guys' matches to see, and I was like, all right, I think they're gonna do this like double stack at home. Cyrus is gonna be here, one out on the snake side, and Chavez always running and shooting to the Dorito corner.
That's what was crazy to me. that diesel match, you ran and shot to that outside every single time. I'm like, how are they not shooting him?
But so the first point we did shoot Chavez, and then the second point we shot the snake side, which gave us that 2-point lead. But the part that made it tough, I think, for us is like to really like put pressure back on Cyrus. You had to be able to like stand in that blind zone on the Dorito side. Mm-hmm. But because Chavez is so accurate running and shooting out there,
right?
I was like, well, we can't really like feel safe playing that spot, so you can't, and it's hard to like shoot back at Cyrus in that zone because he's reading the paint so well. So it was a nice setup that like even though you guys were able to do it a lot and like maybe lose some points here doing it, but keep going back to it because like I think you guys played really similar to us in that like if you look at like a sample size of 10 points, you maybe are going to lose some players and lose a couple points, but you're going to probably win 60 or 70% of them still running with the same game plan and hitting shots, which you guys did a fucking masterful job at.
Thank you.
Colt, and this is funny because I'm Marcelo and I are in constant battles of like, dude, you got to get out of that back center. You got to get out of that back center. And I mean, and we were commentating, and I was like, what is he still doing back there? You know, because again, the vision sucks so bad that like once someone gets like once the breakout happens, if you didn't shoot somebody off of the snake side, then he's in there.
Yeah.
Right. And so you can kind of slow him down by shooting that drop shot. And if you're looking Dorito way, you can kind of at least look through that one little window and be like, okay, I can hold this for as long as I can. But once they get by you there, it's curtains for you.
Yeah.
And so I was, and I actually told you this after you guys won and I was walking by, but like I'm so stoked to see like the mobility, even though sometimes you chose not to leave, which just still blows my mind, but the mobility that you have out of that back center to get out to that snake corner when you need to, right? And one of the things that I said when I had you on the show before is like the way you play is very inspiring to me because you know you don't fit the mold of this hyper athletic body type, and that's the beauty of this sport is like anybody can play and anybody can excel in it. And I remember it like maybe a year or two ago there was a video of you sliding out to the corner. I'm like, yes, dude, like this is so awesome to see, like because you break this mold that a lot of people have they're mentally blocked, and it's like I can only do this, you know, this is all I can do, and you don't think about that. Like you play where you need to be playing, and you get to the spots that you need to get to, and you do all the things, and you're nearly impossible to shoot out of a spot, I guess, unless they're both behind you and you're the back center. But once you get out of that back center, you're nearly impossible to shoot, and it's like it's awesome to see that, and it makes me so happy because I coach so many players all around the world. And every time, you know, I get a bigger guy, and big shout out to Orlando, who's in here too, making the same type of moves and playing. He plays very similar to you, lower division, but making the moves that he needs to make. But like a lot of people will make an excuse rather than like absolutely trying and putting in the hard work and the effort. So I commend you on that, and that's awesome.
Thank you.
What would you give as far as like advice for guys that are playing in the back center on this layout next weekend or in the off season? Like what are you looking at from there, and how do you play it? It's
all based off of how your team's playing. So like for me in that back center, it was all right, Colt, you're going to shoot off break. And then at practice, I had a lot of success with the blind shots, not allowing the snake to get kills. Mm-hmm. And then if they did come up, I'm confident enough that I'm like, if we're going to get in a gunfight, like you're not going to beat me. So I'm full confidence that I'm going to beat everyone in that snake. Or if they finally get a good ball of me, I'll dip off and I'll talk to the guys, tell him exactly where he is, but he's going to have to find me and we're going to have to play each other because I'm sending either Cyrus or Trenton up to the center to eventually get to what we call the ghetto, which is the snake wing by the brick, and either get to that wing or the brick to play the snake. And then once they got to there, we had a zone where if they were past the W, if they're past the W, I would need to just play heads up if they weren't past the temple. Because if they weren't past the temple, I can stop that whole zone. And again, that guy has to play me. He can't get away with anything. He's got to play me. And I just genuinely believe that I'm going to be able to hold every person over there. Mm-hmm. And then if they are in the W, my goal is to get to what we call the money, which would be the Aztec on the snake side inside. Because from there, I could hold that entire zone. And again, they have to play me. So like,
Right.
I didn't want to get out of the home if I had a guy up in the center set up on the snake, because I was like, if he's set up on that, I can stay here and constantly shoot at the Doritos side, flood up the center, and find bodies with people trying to hunt for kills over the top, or read their paint from where they're shooting, see the paint coming over and go, well, that has to be the Cobra, because they're not going to be in the Tiger or the S1 shooting this way, so that has to be the snake corner. Hey, Chavez, it's the snake corner inside. He's watching the gap going to the D2. And, like, just kind of being able to read the situation. And if they didn't know the bounce shots to kill that back center, I knew it was super safe. If I played a team that knew the bounce shots, I just would have been diving into the money every fucking point. But as soon as I realized nobody knew them, I was like, hey, I can command the field from this spot. But, I go watch the webcast, and I'm getting told that I should, I'm a detriment in the home. So I appreciate Rich for that. But, I mean, I don't know how well that worked out for him.
Old my yeah, boy, say it how it is, right? Chavi, what was
Yes.
So what was your game plan? Just kind of wait for like 2 or 3 guys on your team to die to like make moves and try to pull the game back, just so you make it a little harder on yourself?
No, not at all. Honestly, I knew the snake side was the win side, and I just couldn't because I'm a very hyper aggressive player on the field. I admit I tend to push sometimes more than I should, and then that's just the one big thing I learned this event is I just need to stay alive for my team, let them get situated, and then I make my moves. Even if people put me in like the mini W on the D side, that we call it the Delta or whatever. If my guy is heads up with me and we're just battling and he has the dominance on me, I just yell to Trent like, hey, this guy's gonna go. Like fucking shoot his ass, or like I just tell him the zone and then I just back off and chill, and just usually 9 times out of 10 he ends up shooting him because people are like, oh, these Chavez off me, I'm gonna go, and they end up dying, and all I hear is that kill. I'm like, sick. Now I'm gonna play the home and play this money guy or the snake side guy so I can get out wide and help my snake side guys.
Yeah, I mean that's how it's done, right? And a lot of people kind of have this misconception that they have to, in order to be part of the game, they have to be engaged in a gunfight, right? And that's like such a big, I don't even want to call it a divisional mistake. I think that that's a mistake even at the highest level on the pros. You're like, this isn't like someone's battling me, this person wants to do it, and rather than like trying to like just pass the ball to your teammate, right? To say, hey, this guy's gonna go, or get ready to shoot this guy through this XYZ zone. They'll try to do it themselves, and then oftentimes it doesn't pan out. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I guess a good way to like really, really alleviate that and just be like, all right, hey, look, dude, you're the only one over here. None of us are coming to your rescue. So, dude, if you blow it, we're going to lose, right?
Oh, no, trust me. There's times, especially at practice, where I would lose it. And then all of a sudden, Cole gets shot next, and he'll look right at me. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. All right? I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, me and him we know.
That's funny you say that, right? Because when I'm coaching teams, there's got to be a level of empathy, right? And that line is pretty close. And I mean, the longer you guys play together, and you guys have been playing together for a long time, the more difficult it is to tactfully say that someone screwed up when you get shot in the back. Like anytime that Alex messes up, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? At this point. But there's this level of empathy that you can have by holding your teammates accountable. So for instance, when you're like, hey, watch this zone, and then you're like, your teammate's like, yep, I got it, and then he turns around because he gets bored just watching a zone, and then everybody gets shot in the back, and you're like, hey, dude, like, you can't just kind of walk off and be like, oh well. You've got to hold your teammates accountable, so that way they feel badly when they screw up to a certain extent, right? There's got to be that little bit of a lesson learned, and a lot of people, obviously that's a fine line you ride between, motherfucking somebody on your team to tell them that they made a mistake, or just saying, hey, dude, you got to have my back, man.
Yeah, Michael Cruz wrote, I like when Rich Shelfer was criticizing Colt for being the back center, and then you corrected him. I don't know. That's what.
Yeah, I mean, probably, dude. I mean, he was playing great. Like there was one time when I was like, ooh, he should probably get out of there. But like his ability to move out, and this is what I love about Marcelo and I. Like we were not on the same page in Chicago, but at this one, I was like, look, dude, anything you got, like I'm with you. I just want you to know, like my desire, because Marcelo is probably the best player to have as the last man standing, right? And he's so good at that, right? And to me, I'm like, well, yeah, but you're so good at everything else also that we'll never even need to rely on you as that reserve shoot if you're already out of your spot, you know? And that was what I said to him. I'm like, so that's where my frustration is sometimes when we're stuck in this spot is because I feel like we'll never even be in there. And so one of the points I was like, hey, if when I leave, you can switch and shoot Dorito away. He's like, nah, I'm getting out of here and going to California. I was like, we did it. Like, he and I just, like, right then, we're like, you've been on the team, you know? It was, like, that connection right there. And it's true, though, right? A lot of times, players, and I, again, go back to the coaching side of things, I'll be like, hey, what were you, when this guy went by you, like, what were you shooting at after that? He's like, I don't know. Like, can you see anything? Well, no, not really. I'm like, well, the guy got by you, and then he shot you. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, well, let's get out of this spot. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to, like, after you've run into a wall a couple times or you've been stung a couple times by the bees or the beehive, you got to be like, all right, well, I'm not going to do that again. Yep. And it's a testament to you guys and your ability to practice and play so much. And that's actually Junior from BFP Gear. He sponsors a segment on the show for a question of the day. And this is actually, I want to say that you've already answered this, Colt. So this will be for you and Chavez to both kind of answer about your practice regimen. Because I think that a lot of people should hear this. Because as Kyle coaches teams, I coach teams. Do you guys coach teams at all?
Yeah.
You guys just rip it. It's just you guys, and that's it.
No, we kind of all coach different local teams. Like Chavez has his own team that he coaches at our XTPLs. He has a team that he plays with and coaches, and then he has a team that he coaches that's just challengers, and it's like a team full of players that have never won a tournament. And then I coach like some D4, D3 guys, and then basically all of our fit teams, we coach at every event we can. So any team that plays that fit, we try to go coach them as much as possible.
Okay, cool.
And you guys are at the field almost every day, so it's like you're helping. I've seen you guys out there because I've been there a lot too. So you're helping guys as well as while you're playing them. You know, if it's a divisional team or semi-pro team, whatnot.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so that was BFP Gear's question. It was everybody says that you guys are probably the hardest working team in paintball or in the pro division, probably even paintball in general. Can you tell us what your practice schedule is like, and how many days a week do you guys get together as a team? How often do you guys just go to the field? And I mean, I guess it's how far do you live from the field? Let's get the full download. And don't worry about it. My field's an hour and a half away. I got 3 kids. I'm not driving to the paintball field to try to steal any of your thunder right now. My practicing everyday days are long gone. But for everybody who's kind of coming up that has the ability to do this, I mean, Aftermath practices a whole lot, and so they're kind of in that same realm of possibility. But like, let's hear it. I mean, you guys went from semi-pro to winning World Cup. So what's.
So we play every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then we try to rotate in another day, just kind of based off of time and how everyone's body feels, right? And those days vary, right? You don't really know when it'll happen, but for sure Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, and then and then like a day for like drills and stuff like that, just to keep the motor skills
fresh.
How far do you live from the field?
Like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Damn.
same here. I live about 10 minutes away.
Damn.
We actually live down the street from each other.
And you said physically how you guys feel. Do you guys get, I mean, you're 24. How old are you, Chavez?
I just actually turned 30 during Cup.
30?
Friday.
Happy birthday, dude.
Thank you.
Man, you look like you're 22. First of all,
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
you
you're
know,
welcome.
I thank my mom and the Hispanic genes.
The good genes.
Fucking
the
rocking.
good genes. I got good genes. Okay, Cyrus is 50 minutes. Okay, and then you guys got night ball, so you're playing for
probably the best night ball in
that's
the
pretty cool looking,
US,
actually.
maybe the world.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, the lights are epic.
Do you guys still have fun?
Yeah, honestly, if it wasn't for paintball, I wouldn't know what to do with my life. Like I really don't. Like people say like, oh, I love you paintball, but no, I legit do, because I also work at the field too. So I help, like, do the nets, make sure the nets are okay, the bunkers are good. Colt with me as well. We're there making sure the fields are good. For that way this weekend we can just play and let the players just play. Not just having to go fix stuff while playing, just have a smooth operation. So me being around it all the time, I just live, breathe, eat paintball. It's amazing. And it also helps. I used to play baseball back in high school. So I'm just a competitive person in general. So being competitive in the sport just keeps fueling me. So I'm
sorry. You go ahead. Finish.
Oh no, I don't think I'm ever gonna get tired of it, honestly.
Yeah. So a bunch of people were asking in the comments earlier, what happened with you and Serge when you're shaking hands? I didn't know that was a thing, but.
Okay, we should be good now, hopefully, because big guy. But no.
I had one of those with him last year too. So.
No, so it was just during our match, during the quarterfinals, we were playing each other, and I believe it was the point they had to come win it to tie it up, and it was actually a couple points before I get overshot by him. Like I walk out of the Doritos and I get smoked, and I know it's him because Carril's already dead, or not Carril, Karslev is already dead. So I knew he was the 2 on D side, and I know it's him. He just lights me up and then gives me a little bit more. I'm like, all right, fine. I remember that. So playing the game, playing the points, and then it was whenever they had to push for the last point. I ended up getting to what we call the D2, the outside Dorito, and he ends up getting shot, filling out, whatnot. And so I'm holding the lane. Sorry.
I'm holding the lane. Nice cover up, dude. I'm holding the lane.
I'll finish.
Hold the lane by the net.
It's okay. So yes, okay. I was holding it, and I knew we were gonna win it because it was just snake side only, and we still had all our guys alive. And the evil little Chavez, like devil, or just whispers like, "Look at him." And I did. I threw a couple, and then I went straight back to holding the lane, and then he's just like looking at the ref, looking at me, and he's like, what the fuck? And then I was like, you overshot me, man. I just wanted my get back. That's all.
Yeah.
But it's all love, it's on the field, and I still respect the players and him 100%. It's not just
a little equalizer.
Yeah, you're allowed to give it, and I mean, I think that there's a line, in my opinion,
yes,
that several of Diesel players crossed multiple times. But there's like jawing that goes back and forth, right? And oftentimes there's a level of respect for most people that it's back and forth, right? And here's the biggest thing, and we talked about this before World Cup. It's the confidence versus hubris. You don't want to start talking shit and bonus balling people in the first point, unless you are so damn sure that you can control the outcome and the narrative of the game, right? And I mean, I know it was just in the heat of the moment, but it got me so fucking pissed because I feel like I don't really bonus ball people unless it's I bonus balled Rainey after he shot the shit out of me, and I still feel bad that I bonus balled Mouse 3 years ago, but I'll do it, but only because you do it to me. So A-Rod's got to get it right, and
A-Rod was out there executing everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
Is that what you want? Is that what you care more about?
Yeah.
And
I understand that there's a level that you can get into people's head with, but you for sure don't want to do it to somebody that can for sure get you back.
Yeah.
That's just the thing you don't do. So don't bonus ball me because there's a good chance that I'm gonna be playing long enough to get your ass back. And so it's kind of the same thing, and which is an even more screwed up thing is I guess only bonus ball people that don't have a chance of getting you back. So pick on the weak. But at the same time, it's if someone shoots the shit out of you and then they're walking off, A-Rod's a great lane holder. Be prepared to wear it again.
Yeah.
And again, it should be a maximum that you can I feel what Zach Patient got was a little above the maximum.
Well, I think they let that slide, and then when they saw it again in our match, they were like, "Come on."
Yeah.
And an interesting thing, I mean, I don't know if you guys knew this, Colt, but after that happened, I didn't see Cyrus back out there the next point. I was like, that's interesting. They decided not to play him for a couple of points, and then Clint does that.
This is great, by the way.
Overshooting on you, Colt. So I'm in the pits, helping with the game plans, and it would have been important to know that Cyrus got suspended because that he was a big factor of that match. But I ran over. to talk to Trozen when Clint was getting suspended, and I was like, how are you gonna suspend? I'm not trying to like justify, because I think Clint's was a little excessive on you. But I went and I was like, how is Cyrus not Clint suspended, and you're not gonna suspend Cyrus? And Jason's like, I did. And I'm like, huh? He's like, when he did that to BJ, I suspended him. And I was like, okay, I have nothing to say. And Trozen's like kept arguing his point. I was like, no, you win. I didn't know that. I'm gonna leave this argument. I just went back to the pit. Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, that's obviously because you even prefaced the whole thing about having a game plan specifically to like wrap and shoot him to not get shot by Chavez, and the whole time Cyrus was suspended and you guys didn't even know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, are you guys going to take, are you practicing tomorrow?
Fucking no.
Boy.
We actually today we have a trailer we're supposed to unload. We're actually unloading it tomorrow. I texted Cole like, hey man, can we like unload it tomorrow, please? Like I need some rest. And like, let me talk to Johnny. And like, we're good.
Saying we need like we all need like a
time
couple
off.
days off. I was like, everywhere work. I was like, please, I need like 4 days, 3 days.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I haven't had any time off.
Yeah,
I
I don't have any babies.
No babies. Yeah, Oliver's still ripping it in Florida. So is Cyrus. So Cyrus just stayed out there. Is he gonna just get a little tent and just live on the dirt out there? Soak that in?
Well, his family's from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's spending like all day.
I'm not leaving. This is the greatest day of my life. I'm not leaving.
Yeah, I think he's actually pitching up a tent in like the center wedge somewhere. He's like, this is a nice spot.
For sure.
Over in the brick.
Tell me a little bit about the feeling that you guys had when you guys beat Diesel, okay, in that raucous match, which honestly, from my viewpoint, wasn't really going your way until these guys absolutely unraveled and fell apart like a cheap watch. Like they kind of had you guys against the railings, and obviously, if nobody got suspended on either side, maybe Cyrus would have helped out quite a bit more, but they lost 2 guys, and then you guys got to think back to back. I think there was a point when you played them 5-on-2 and they still got a penalty.
Oh yeah, we did.
Which is
yeah, I got a minor.
I was walking out when he was explaining that, and I just kind of chuckled to myself. But explain to me after you guys won that match the feeling, because I watched a couple of you guys as you were walking by to shake hands, and you guys were pretty emotional. But explain that feeling, like knowing that you guys were headed to the finals at World Cup.
I'll let Cole go first.
Go. I was about to say, Chavez, you go first.
Chavez, you want to go first?
Yeah, fine. I gotta go first. It felt great, and it felt like cheesy as this to say, like we were destined to win. Just because of everything, all the obstacles we had to overcome to get to that match. Mm-hmm. We had to beat Legion, we had to beat Damage. Granted, yes, Damage didn't have Keith Brown, but they're still a solid mm-hmm. team. And just pretty much going through the gauntlet, and then beating another home field team. Much love to you guys. It feels good, but at the same time, like we just wanted it. Like I can tell, like the emotions were high, and I can just see it in everybody's eyes. Like we just all wanted it, and just the smiles that everybody was giving. Like I smile a lot, so when people are seeing me cheesing like real hard, people is just like, oh yeah, we got this, and I knew we had it. I had faith in my boys. We done so much together. It's like they're like the Luckau, they're my brothers. Mm-hmm. Like legit, like love those guys to the death. If I could change my middle name to like Alexander Luckau, I would.
Well, I think you can.
You can. We can do that.
Yeah. So we're gonna hold you to that.
Okay. I'm not married yet. I think it's legal. We could work something out.
Before you empty out the trailer tomorrow and just head down to the DMV.
Oh yeah, I'm in. We're doing it. Don't
doing
it.
There we go.
But no, I just know that we just give everything for each other, just the sacrifices. Another thing to add on real quick is I was even supposed to be at a wedding this past Saturday for the Damage match. I was actually supposed to stand up in my uncle's wedding, but I chose to be with my boys because I knew like we had it. like I knew it. Like even though we lost the damage on Saturday, I had zero doubt. Like, nah, we needed that to win this fucking tournament, you know? And so skipping that, seeing like my wife who was there with my family and at those facilities, sending all those pictures, you know, it hurt because I wanted to be there. But at the same time, like I wanted to be there for my boys. And I knew, you know, we had this and, you know, they just had faith in us. You know, always did and always have and always will.
Dude, that's awesome. See, and you didn't want to go first, so good luck. Colt, how about you? How are your feelings?
Yeah, I'm like, fuck, I don't know how to follow that.
So Colt, before you go, I'm gonna play this clip. You might not be able to hear it, but this is from the first time you were on the show, and you were setting the goals and the intentions. Because I asked you like, what are your goals, and you were like, I want to win an event. You know, that's my goal for this year. And then we asked you a little bit later, where do you find yourself placing at the end of the year? And you said, well, hopefully like in the top 12th place, somewhere in there. And then, you know, ideally if we could, like this is a big ask, but hopefully in the top 10. You guys finished 7th overall in the series, which is, I mean, as good as it gets really for your first year. But I'm going to play this little clip so everybody can see it so we can have everybody remember.
My goal is to win
quick.
an event.
Yeah. Year one.
And I mean, I know that's a wild thought to like a lot of people, but honestly, I feel like if I'm not planning on winning an event, I'm going into the same mentality I was in 2021. That was to not get relegated, and that didn't pan out. So I'm going in trying to win.
Okay.
Right? Like, and I don't know. That's just kind of been our whole mentality as a team. Is we want to make Sunday the first event, and then I want to win an event by the end of the year.
Okay. So making Sunday is the big factor first, and then build off of that each time. You said something in there that was, I think, is a huge takeaway, and which is also why, or one of the reasons that you guys, I think, were able to come back against Impact. And what you said in there that's important was you said your first year you guys were playing not to get relegated, so you're playing not to lose, right? You guys weren't playing to win, you were playing not to lose, and there's a huge difference right there, which is also why so many teams lose those 30-second points. You're not playing to win. You're playing so cautiously that you don't want to lose, and a lot of times that's what ends up happening, right? Impact played against you in those last 2 points because they said, let's just go to 5 safe spots and let's not lose. And you guys said, we're going to 5 spots. I don't give a shit what happens, but we're going to win this. Because the other option is we don't win, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So again, you know, like you obviously manifested it. It was a very lofty goal, but I want to trace back now that you had some time to look at that, and I don't even know if you heard it, but hopefully you remember.
I
can always-
but I do remember.
You can always
Yeah.
pull up YouTube and like mute it in the background.
Yeah.
See the comments or whatever.
But what were your thoughts going into beating Diesel, knowing that you guys were going to go play in World Cup in the finals?
You know, for me, that match was very personal. I mean, Kyle probably knows exactly why, and honestly, I'll just say it. I get into a lot of arguments with them when we practice, and it tends to be with Alex. And I have a lot of respect for Alex, by the way. I mean, a lot of respect for him as a player, as a competitor, everything. Like, I 100% understand where he comes from. But we were, you know, had another argument, and he said something to me outside the pits and told me I'll never be great. And I said, give me a couple years, and we'll come back to that statement. And I went back to my pit, and we continued practice. And then, I've been thinking about that all year. And that was before we played them the first time this year. So, yeah, I'm still thinking about it now. So, because I still got more to do. I got to win more than he has in order to win that argument. So that's my thing. So yeah, that match.
You're not wrong. He did say
play
that.
him is going to be very emotional and important to me. So that's why I was as emotional as I was. Not only just for finals, it was just kind of like, no, I got to prove it to myself, right? And prove it, like Chavez said, for all the guys, dude. Like we all put in so much work and effort to make this our thing, and we weren't like, I don't want to say we weren't supposed to be where we were, but like historically and statistically we weren't. Like us to even make top 4, I feel like people are like, oh, congrats. That's, like that's amazing. And like for us, we were all like, no, we want more. Like I need more out of this. We put in way too much effort. And I feel like the whole time I was playing, every time I died, I'm like, I'm fucking over my teammates that have put in just as much effort as me. I mean, like you look at like players like Cyrus who moved down, and like I remember calling him it was like end of December, beginning of January last year, and just kind of being like, hey man, I really like your work ethic, and I think that this could be a great situation for you, and we can build something great here, and we can try to be the best, best new team to ever play pro, and try to be the best team to ever play pro. That's the end goal, right? And kind of tried to, sell him on it, and he bought in fully and moved down here, and people were like, you guys didn't even pick up a real pro player, and that's a real thing that was said, right? So like the fact that he believed in it, came down, listens to us, teaches me different ways of like, okay, that's how you're thinking about this, because there's different ways to play paintball, and everyone kind of comes in with a different mindset. But like the fact that he moved down and did that, Scott moved down and did that, and bought into the let's go do something special. Every time I fuck up, I'm like, I'm fucking these guys over. Like they're changing their whole life to live out the dream with me, and it's emotional when you get a win, because you're like, okay, that's another step that I just helped them out with. But like I know that that's a part of their goals, right? So like at least for me, like, and same with Jonathan, by the way. Like Jonathan lived in Austin, which is, for anyone in Texas, they know, but it's about 4 hours away from us. So like he moved up here away from his family and moved his fiance down here with us. So they're all in the same town as us. Like,
and she's from North Carolina. Yeah,
like everyone's buying into this, and for us to lose is almost like a slap in the face to everyone that's sacrificing. And like for me, I burden that stress pretty much every day of like I got to lose weight because I got to be better for these guys, because they're sacrificing so much. And like a lot of those guys are older than me. Like I'm just now 25, and like Chavez said, like he's 30. Like I got to do this for them, because I feel like I have to. So like whenever we get this win, it's like I look at them and I see their joy, and it's almost better than my own personal vendettas. And like just seeing everyone excited, and like knowing that we talked about the win after, and everyone's kind of like, hey, are you guys just kind of like excited to get back to practice? Like it was a weird thing that like instead of wanting to go get hammered, we're all just kind of like, I'm kind of really excited for the next season.
Yeah, you're like who's next in our way?
Yeah, 100%.
Plus your body's so depleted and you're so exhausted. Plus you guys had to break down the booth.
Yeah, that fucking sucked. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. We weren't
Booth life. All right, congrats. What are you guys gonna do? You just won. Celebrate. Now go break down the booth.
Yeah, 100%. And I blamed,
in the dark.
I blamed my fiance for that, because she was like, "What if we break down today and we go to like Epcot and drink around the world tomorrow?" And then 11:30 rolls around, and I'm like, "Fuck this. This is like,
dude, wait till you're doing it when you're 40.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I can't wait. Oh man, it doesn't get any easier. I'll tell you that. Yeah, you said a lot of really, really great things in there, and I hope that people can kind of take away all that. One of the things that I've realized is don't talk shit to these guys, because they don't let it go, and it makes them better.
Keep it coming.
I want to say,
just be really nice to these guys.
I want to say, and I know these guys can attest, I'm always a neutral party at our practices.
Kyle's very nice.
No, I'm always cordial.
Kyle's making sure that he prefaces this. Also, you don't look like every single guy on your team, right?
Why?
You and Jesse, why? Because you're a little shorter and not as strong looking.
Okay.
Right. I mean, you're strong, but like, that's what it is. Every single guy looks like Mouse. You put one of those little hood things on, and it's a smart play by Mouse. And maybe this is his play in 3D chess here, by bonus balling the shit out of people and being a jerk, and then dressing up just like everybody else, and then sending them up front. Cyrus is like, crazy. When I bunkered BJ out of the snake, he thought it was Mouse.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, definitely, guys. The way to beat you guys, I think I've now cracked the code, is just be super nice to you. And so you're like, dude, I would go bunker Ryan right now, But he's such a nice guy.
Such a good
Well,
guy.
dude, it's even
Such a
like
great guy.
it's
You
even
know,
like
he's
damage.
old,
Like
so I
there was
just
like
I feel a little bad for him. You know, I'm not gonna bonus ball him.
Let him get a kill before we
Let's
shoot
give him
him.
one. Let's just give him one. Let him think he has a taste.
That last point too, Cole. I saw the video. Well, two ones that were really cool. Like one, I forgot who was left in the Delta for impact, and you're like, yes. Were you like,
Laval.
yes, like we're about to win? Is that
no, that was
Like, go-
so Cyrus has a weird thing. Like when I'm watching him play, because like a lot of the times I'll send him up the middle. I can see if he's hesitating to go.
Oh, and you're
And like
just
I'm telling him like, go fuck him up
Yeah.
essentially. But I can't yell that because then if he does fuck him up, we're getting in trouble, right? So like I'm just like yes, because I see him like hesitating, and I'm like, no, it's 44. It's just that motherfucker right there. Like go win the
Just do
tournament.
it. Do it.
And then you get all that emotion of just like understanding that like as soon as this dude shoots that guy, we just won World Cup. So like I kind of blacked out and I just started shooting over his head, just screaming yes. But
the other one I like too, and I just watched today, is when you beat Malloy in that one-on-one, and then after you shot him, I like how like the whoever was filming, it's just you peek out of the tower and you're like, you didn't think I was gonna do that, huh? Like that's what that looked like to me. I don't know if that was what you were thinking, but it was like, yeah, that's me. It's cool.
no, it was just like, okay, next fucking point. Let's go win this whole fucking thing. But
Yeah, and I mean it's great because also just kind of watching you play and whatnot, like you got that personality on the field too that you know what's going on. It's like it's not like happening around you so fast that you're like, oh shit, like what do I like, what's next? You've got the personality and you've got enough like understanding of the ability to be able to slow the game enough to like give someone a little shit talk also. Like Oliver's really good at that. Oliver and Alex are really good at that. Like I can't do that shit. When I'm in the game, if it's a 5-on-1, I'm like, fuck, we gotta win this. There's still a chance that they can come back. Like I give everybody like so much of the benefit of the doubt that I'm like, we don't have this. This isn't a guarantee. And Oliver will be in there and he'll be like, hey, you're gonna come and shooting people behind the back and shit like this, dude. And like Alex will be doing stuff like this too. And I'm like, I'm in full like panic mode pretty much the entire time to try to get that. So I know that this one's a tough one, and I think we're gonna get Cyrus to jump in here too because he's just been commenting in the chat so much.
here, get him in here.
Yeah, I just sent him the.
Where did you say he was
Get the
from?
MVP
Is he
in here.
from Texas?
No, he's from Florida.
From Florida, yeah.
What is
Florida.
this guy, man? He just moved to Texas and he's a full cowboy now.
Dude,
They don't
he
have
was,
had a
cowboys
house.
in
so he was
Florida.
doing the
hat.
cowboy thing in
In
Florida.
Yeah, in Florida. He's had
Like
a cowboy
that?
hat.
All right, I don't know about this. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I thought he was for
Fuck it.
sure. When you said we moved him out here, I was like, hang on, wait a second. Where did he get the cowboy hat?
He just had it. Like even when we met him,
He bought
had
that shit in the
hat
gift
on.
shop. He bought it in the Dallas airport.
Yeah.
He for sure bought that in the Dallas airport. So this one's a tough one, and I know that Maddie's been saying this for a long time, and obviously you don't know when it happens until it happens, but the off season now that's approaching, and I hope that no one on your team gets picked apart whatsoever, and I think you guys have been so good lately, and I'm so happy to hear Chavez is, how you are so just enamored with the team and just like, these are your boys. Like, this is awesome. And that's how it always was with us as well. Aside from Oliver, he jumped ship for a little while. But what are you guys going to do, or what are you guys able to do in order to like keep the team together? With the off season, you haven't experienced it in the pro side. I mean, obviously in the semi-pro section of it, like guys might have tried to poach your guys, but now at this point in time, things get really hairy, and we've been the team that's been picked apart a handful of times, and the offers are like ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like they're just, it's so outside of the scope of ability for Dynasty to compete with. Are you guys just kind of like, look, man, we have something so special. It seems like it to me. And I know you can't really say until that. And no, I'm not trying to scalp any players, but that was one of Junior's funny questions. He's like, all right, so how do we get Chavez on the team? But no, we don't really. I mean, historically, we don't take anybody, go after any other players until someone steals our guys, and then we're like, well, shit, we don't have enough guys on the team. So we're not going to come after any of your guys. So don't worry about it. You have my word. This is also so hopefully you guys take it easy on me when I play you next. This is that nice part of it. But what are you guys planning, or do you guys have any like even thought in your mind about that?
Honestly, I feel like
I know he ain't going anywhere.
Nope. Good luck.
I feel like
he's listening. Good luck.
Good.
I love it. I feel like everyone's kind of buying into like money is one thing, but like a legacy is a whole different thing. I mean, like I can imagine that you have been offered plenty of times in your career, but at some point it's, do I have a legacy and really create something special, like you said, or do I become the hired gun that gets looked at like a Kevin Durant, right? Like I mean, in like basketball terms, like you look at Kevin Durant, that dude's got multiple rings and nobody gives a shit about it. Because like, yeah, you popped teams to do it. You went to the teams that were already good. You didn't do anything with your original team, right? It's way less respected versus every other way to win a championship of like, no, I'm riding with my guys and we're going to go fucking stun on people. Like when you guys win a tournament versus another team, like a big money team that wins a tournament, it is different because you guys you've been playing together so long, right? Like like y'all's core versus like, say, like no disrespect, right? But like a Heat, right? Or like Impact, like they go and they buy all these players and like that's cool, that's awesome, but even it just like, yeah, of course you went and fucking hired 7 of the top 12 players. You should have won. What do you mean? Like, but like doing it with your boys and like trying to create something special, I feel like, 30 years from now, when we're all 60, do I want to be like, yeah, I made $60K playing paintball, or yeah, I went and won with all of my boys that, hey, your Uncle Jonathan, we won like 20 tournaments together. Like, and then have that legacy. Like that's genuinely, at least for me, like that means more to me than anything. I think everyone's on the same page. But I think legacy over it makes more sense.
Yeah, and that's awesome that you said that. You're right. Like, and I've always said that's one of the things about that aids in dynasty success is we don't have a huge budget, believe it or not, to everybody out there. So everybody who's on our team can get a better deal somewhere else, but they choose to play on the team because they want to be here. And a lot of times when you have a bunch of hired guns, it's a lot of egos, and then it's a lot of people who are there because they're getting paid, and by default they become friends, or by default they're now like a secondary outcome of this payday is, okay, yeah, I'm fighting for you. But a lot of times that's not the primary objective, is I'm playing because I want to be here. I'm playing because I'm getting paid to be here. And my secondary part is I'm fighting for you. So that empathy side of things that we talked about a little earlier is like, some of the guys don't just really give a shit too much. Cyrus, if you unlock your phone, you can...
You had it right.
You had it right for a second. And welcome to the show. And is that a cowboy hat or is that a bucket hat?
It's a bucket hat.
Oh, dude.
Is your iPhone
fake, dude,
like,
I knew it.
Is it on the lock screen thing?
No, is your iPhone like turn it sideways, but then like unlock it. Like unlock the rotation thing. That means that means you guys were watching. You guys were watching that video of when Clint bonus balled Zach Patient. So you had to turn your phone sideways.
Yeah,
so you locked the screen. Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, you've been here watching the whole thing. Chime in. What do you got? Let's hear it. Like, give us a little battle cry or something.
I'm not gonna scream because I'm currently at my girlfriend's parents' house. So.
Even better reason to scream.
So, like, what the fuck's wrong?
What's going on in there? Yeah. How do you feel? What's going on?
I feel pretty nice. My body hurts, but I'm just working. So.
It hurts from playing, or BJ running into you?
Yeah, BJ running into me. Then the 14 years of soccer just made me kind of flop a little bit. Run into a can.
It was a good move. It was a good move.
But it's like I really wanted me to not get suspended and him get suspended, but it didn't work out that way.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish I knew that you got suspended too.
Well, we ended up playing Scott in the same way that they were playing me.
Yeah.
But
And just, I don't know, I haven't listened to your Play the Game podcast yet, but I think you said, I kind of alluded to that in the comments, like, were you making your reads there, like, after the horn went off, not necessarily, like, you didn't have a set?
So Casey, our coach, would, like, give me kind of an idea of where he wanted me to go, and then I would just trust my nuts, is what I like to say. Just figure it out on the fly.
But if that guy was in the diagonal with you,
then you
like loaded up like he was going to shoot, you have to joust with him.
Yeah,
versus,
or
like,
I can just take a step to the left and make sure he can't shoot me and then go up.
Yeah.
And just for those of you at home who are watching this, the blind zones on the snake side and the Dorito side, the snake side blind was by far the better of the two because you could actually shoot bodies, like you could shoot runners. And off the box, when you're looking at how many guys are lined up on the Dorito side to see how safe it's going to be to play that spot, where you should probably need to run. You know, you're kind of susceptible from the back center, but the back center guy is more focused on trying to shoot the snake runner. And then on top of that, he doesn't know exactly where you're going to be, so he's kind of guessing. So at the same time, what you're looking at is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're going to want to, when you come off the box, you're either going to protect yourself from that guy sitting in your opposite mirror on the Dorito side, or you're going to just tee off on the runner that's running out there. And ideally, like, I think when you guys played the Russians, they just kept running Karslev to the same spot. And you think you shot him like 3 times in a row.
Yeah. That was nice.
Yeah, that was very nice. I mean, and they never shot back at you. So, like, you got like a free run up there. So what I wanted to talk about, do you think when you played, so I think you guys, and Colt, we talked about your damage match in the prelims, like, you guys didn't really understand the score, first of all. But do you think that teams underestimated you guys? Kind of overlooked you, like, okay, damage went in and goes, all right, who we playing next? Russians went in there and be like, all right, we're gonna win this World Cup. Do you think that? Because I mean, dude, when I had to have this conversation with the Blast Camp guys after our match, and I was like, dude, you guys got to have respect, right? And I think I play every team like the guys on the other side of the field have the exact same skill talent, and skill set that I have because they practice. They're oftentimes faster than I am. So, there's not much that really changes my ability to play paintball than the guys on the other side. And too often teams will, I don't want to call it disrespect, but I'll overlook the team that they're playing and go, we got this one. You know? And that might have been one of the, I think that's also one of the things that some of the guys on our team thought about you guys, and I'm glad that you won now that we can wake up a little bit. But like, okay, our hard games are on Saturday. We've got, Infamous and Fit on Friday. We're gonna run the full lineup, see who's playing, and we'll dial it in for the next day. Do you think that the damage guys and the Russians guys were like, we got this? Oh, he shot me going to this Dorito. No one else has shot me. I'm gonna go there again. They're not gonna shoot me again. Do you think that teams...
I think damage did.
Yeah.
I think damage did, and that's purely based off of like comments that Joey made last year in the off season that our play style wouldn't work in pro. It ended up working. And then the Russians, I genuinely think they did respect us because I've had a lot of conversations with Kirill, and like how he talks to me about our team is he's very respectful and he knows that we're good. And he was like, and he kept telling me all year, he would come and tell me like, hey, you guys have everything good. Your only problem is your adaptability in the center. And I think he genuinely believed that. And I feel like when he says something on that team, like they're all going to believe it. So like, I feel like they didn't overlook us. I think we just played really well that match. Cause like,
well, that's no question. Yeah, you guys played phenomenally all weekend. But yeah, I mean, I just maybe it's a mentality because like again, some guys see it and some guys don't, right? And maybe it's on a case by case basis, or maybe not at all. Maybe I'm just projecting that because that's how I feel like a lot of people, people have that confidence versus hubris, right? Like you're like, I'm fucking better than these guys.
Yeah.
These guys suck. That guy sucks. I'm a world champion. We're already won the series or whatever it is. I've won 2 events this year. I won an event this year. Like I'm better than these guys. And that's that hubris discussion that we had last week. And I wrote that down because the whether or not people may have underestimated you guys based on something you had mentioned earlier. And I don't know. I just that kind of jumped into my mind based on these conversations.
Yeah. And honestly, add on to that, what Coach said with the whole team, I think just with the confidence in each other and the belief in each other also helped us because we just knew that we had each other's backs. Even if we did make mistakes, we knew like, all right, I'm going to fix that mistake for my boys and I'm going to apply it and we're going to fix this shit on the next point, not just roll with the punches. And so we just all had that accountability and just belief in each other that we would fix those mistakes or let each other know like, hey, this guy's shooting this way, maybe I can go a little bit deeper on this side instead. And so just adding that layers to, our plan just helps us out for sure.
And also just to point one thing out, thank you, Andrew McKenzie. Joey also said Dynasty was done and everyone was too old 10 years ago. So don't let the comments get by you. And actually, that brings up a point, and I was thinking about it today because when we were up in the commentators booth, and when Rich had actually gotten on the bandwagon when I think it was 4 or 5 on 1, he was like, "Fit's gonna win this." He was like, "They just made history, and you guys are the first rookie team to win this in 10 years, or at least since the NXL has been formed." I think Strange had won an event the first year. I think maybe Trauma did also.
X-Factor, I think.
Maybe X-Factor as their rookie year. And then one of the things I thought about, and it goes to, especially, and Oliver mentioned it as well, and Colt, with you talking about your practice regimen and stuff, is we won our first World Cup ever. Our rookie year, we won World Cup 2001. I don't know if any of you guys were even born then. But we won in 2001. We beat Aftershock in a very controversial, like last second kind of heroics. You can see it in like the push or Sunday Drivers or something like that. And it ended up coming down to a penalty that pulled an extra body and gave us like 1 extra point. Back when it was like on a scale of 100 point system. And so we won World Cup in 2001. And that was like one of the biggest, the thing that kind of kickstarted our career. And one of the biggest things, and you've seen it in that 15 documentary, is like our practice regiment was far and above better and more efficient than anybody else's. And we had an insane amount of paint that we shot at every single practice. And the way that we went about everything was way more professional back then because it was a professional sport, but the guys that were playing were like haggard, scary old men back then. I hope that's not how people perceive me at this point. But I feel I think you're not that. I feel like I don't look as rugged and scary as some of the guys did back when we were playing. But it was like a different mentality and mindset when we came on the game. And I had written it down, but Oliver mentioned it in here in the comments, and I'm trying to find what he had sent, but it was kind of like comparing you guys now to us back then. He said Dynasty won their first year pro cup. Is Fit the new Dynasty? And how is Dynasty going to adapt to new, young, and hungry pro team that's just as good as Dynasty was then when we started? And I think that's. I would have to look at the archives to see what our finish was. I think we took like a 3rd place or something like that in our first event. But it's interesting because in the fashion in which you guys won your event in overtime, it was an insane match, and then how we did it was a cool parallel.
And it's also too like something good to point out here about this season. Is like Russians took the series, they are another team that plays a lot of paintball. Then you guys, the other one, the only other like outlier here is Aftermath does play a lot. I don't think quite as much as you guys or the Russians, but it shows. You know, it shows they with them win the title this season, and then you guys winning cup.
No, 100%. I mean, I feel like a lot of teams are starting to adopt a more, pretty much at least twice a week, is what I've noticed. Everyone's playing every weekend now, and I think it's good for paintball though, because I feel like people got away with just like playing once a month as a team, but we're gonna shoot 100 cases that practice. Like, I'm like, that doesn't fucking 1 week doesn't matter. You're still getting the same amount of hours of gun time. Like, doesn't, I don't know. But I feel like now people are playing more because they're like, fuck it, I want to be that good. At least like in Texas, that's what it feels like. I feel like a lot of people are coming out all the time because they're like, well, like if they went and did it because of how much work they put in, why can't we? And I feel like I enjoy seeing it because I'm like, okay, cool. Like if people are feeling motivated to do this stuff.
It's funny too because I'd taken my girlfriend out to the paintball field like a month or two before cup, and she's like, "How do you aim?" And I like had to think about it for a second. I was like, I don't really know how I aim. I'm just like, you're like, like if you think about that question, we don't really like aim because of the muscle memory and the practice and doing that. There's like a weird like just understanding that surpasses that where it goes, but through like sharpening the sword and practicing.
Second nature.
Yeah.
Hey, Cyrus, real quick. I was thinking about this, and we were talking about it when we were discussing the overall MVP category right here in that shot that you had on JC. Did you know JC had crawled around into that snake 4, or were you just waiting? You saw him crawl in there?
I saw his pack. So like I saw like a little sliver of his pack.
Mm-hmm. And you fought the urge just to.
So like, dude, I saw like the sliver of the pack, and I'm like, if I shoot it and I miss, he's gonna know I'm here, and we're just gonna trade. So I just waited for him. I'm gonna trade regardless if he comes out with his gun and we shoot each other. But if I miss, then he has the chance of like actually shooting me. I don't have like the surprise anymore.
Yeah. So everybody who's listening to this and watching this and however you're consuming this media in this segment right here, go and watch the whole match. You should watch every single match that Fit played, especially if you're going to be playing on this layout. But more importantly, watch how he got into the middle, okay? And it also helps that Brandon didn't run wide, so no one saw you get in there, okay? Because if someone runs wide on that Dorito side, they can easily look inside and at least see that you went there.
Well, so when I did that, like the first time I went up there, like they were killing Archie going up there every time, and they killed me going up there once. So I told our coach Casey, because he wanted me to go up there again, and I said, I'm like, I'm just gonna dive to the money or the Aztec on Snake's head, look inside, see if they went wide, and if they didn't, I'm gonna go up.
Love it.
And they didn't do that, so I just went straight forward.
Yeah, and I mean we had talked about that, and one of the reasons we didn't do that move is we were worried about the guy diving into the snake and immediately coming up over the top and catching us on the secondary, which is something to concern.
I mean, to be fair, JC did that point.
He
I
did.
shot it.
I think that tall temple kind of blocks you out once you take those couple of steps.
Well, no, so like he came over the top and I shot at him and almost shot him, and then I went forward.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like there's like a couple videos of it, you can like see him over the top, look at me, and then I shoot at him and he drops and then crawls forward. And
I want to say that he might have gone short that play and then shot and then dove in and then came up and did all that.
I'm pretty sure he went to what we were calling the first snake knuckle.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Then the point before that, I think the point before overtime, he did that little sketch.
Did you guys have a discussion? Because I know like we tried to avoid the middle a little bit, only use it like very sparingly. But like if you were up there and you lost an outside guy, whether it was your snake or Chavez, you over on the Dorito side, and you were in the middle, was it like maybe, I don't know, I guess that's a question. Like, were you guys like, let's push through? Does our middle guy try to get out wide? Because that was a tricky, I think it showed for a lot of teams they like to play the middle like every single point. They didn't really have like a plan for that, and they end up getting like the field spun on them.
Honestly, I felt like I didn't really practice the middle and practice it almost at all. Like it was mainly Trenton up there, and then I would play I played the dead zone every single point, and then I just wanted to learn how everyone would want to shoot at me in that dead zone. So basically, I told the divisional guys that we were practicing, I'm like, hey, please
I'm
shoot
gonna
for
be
me
here
as much as you can.
Yeah.
So like I learned like when the D side guy would wrap the home, I could see how they lined up, and I knew that they were going to shoot for me, and then I would tell Trenton to shoot their Dorito side of the home after he shot his quick shot or after he shot his shot to try to catch that guy.
Yeah. We had like a conversation before we played you guys, and I forgot who said it, but they're like, "Well, just shoot Cyrus off the break." I'm like, "You guys think it's that easy? He's been in that spot every game for the whole tournament. You don't think that he knows how to bob and weave away from the paint?" I was like, "We gotta be a little bit."
I felt like I was dancing the whole tournament.
Yeah. But it's awesome. It's not easy to do.
Yeah, it sucked, honestly.
Yeah, that was a hard spot to shoot.
And you got to be okay, and I'm sure you guys were too, like, okay with not being scared of it, and that you're going to, it's like for longevity, right, in the match and the tournament, that, like, you still have to utilize it, and you will get shot sometimes, but, like, it's a big picture, like the sample size of the 10 points, you know. Is it?
I mean, I felt like I was the only risk. Every breakout, pretty much. I felt like
besides
Chavez,
running and shooting out to the corner,
how
is he doing that?
Yeah, but
Chavez blocks.
So me and Chavez are the same width. I'm just taller.
He's like an italic.
You can't shoot him. Yeah. He's just too small.
Well, I watched Chavez was doing a masterful way getting out there. Because I think, and I mean, you could probably attest to this or give your feedback here, Chavez. Like, I watched some of those times you're shooting out there, and it wasn't always the same, like, full speed. Like, you would gain control of the back center and make sure you're like, I think for you watching, sometimes it was more about accuracy than going 100% sprint speed. So you would vary sometimes like 60% or 80% speed, like maybe stop around the delta and then finish the route, depending, like watching paint. It seemed like to me.
Yeah, I definitely was, because most teams, if not, they double the back center shooting for me. So whenever I would test it too. Like first point, I would run a gun out there, and I feel like this feels good. I'll keep doing it. Usually that's my thing, is I just keep going until you shoot me. Like, I want you to shoot me. Like, okay, I'm gonna find a different route, because I will find a different route, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Or I'll just, shoot for a certain time, then get down, or just figuring out different ways to still get my gun up, because just having another gun up off break is crucial, especially nowadays. But that was just my thing, is just valuing my body, especially getting out there. If I knew like the guy that's shooting D side is pretty solid, I would just shoot a couple and then just hit the dirt hard. Like there's times where like my knee pad was just taking that beating, but like I just knew I had to get down, or else like if I die, we're screwed. Like they see me walk off, they're like, sick, just turn in on Trenton, and then let's just blow the side, So I 100% just had to just survive out there and just had my team trust me.
Yeah, we knew that. I mean, we knew that too. Like, we put a lot of guns on you, like that first point. And I knew, like, then I think you went short, and then it was hard to kind of like read what you were gonna do. So I think we kind of like feel safe to send someone up to that first center wedge, just to not let a second guy get out with you to help you, and be like, let Chavez go try to contain him, but not let us like help come.
Help wasn't coming. I don't know if you watched. There was no help coming for him. It was just him.
Yeah.
He was the number 1, the number 2, and the number 3 position. That was it. Like, it was like, I said it. I'm like, very ballsy. Like I just love the level of trust that they have in the one guy that they send over there. It was cool, man.
I think every layout except for Chicago.
Is that right?
Chavez was pretty much by himself.
I was like,
Chicago was the only layout that me and him ran that side.
Yep.
And it was just me shooting for the shooter and Chavez protecting me doing that.
Yeah. Wow.
I will say something. I mean, and I guess this is a question for you guys here and Ryan here. Like, I thought this field was probably the most traditional to like the last meta of our game. Like this whole year, the layouts have been pretty crazy, and I think every field had like 8 to 10 different routes. Like it was very hard to control everything. And this seemed to me a little bit more traditional. And I don't know if like a lot of the teams that were having success with it this year, Aftershock, Russian Legion, X-Factor, I think maybe like struggled to realize that this field wasn't built for that. And I think that's why we had a lot of success. I think that's why you guys had a lot of success from maybe like realizing that it switched back versus like look at like the Mid-Atlantic or the Vegas field was like attack both sides like relentlessly, and then going around that big wedge at Atlantic City, like a lot of the fields had very different like avenues to go attack. They couldn't be like held up, and I think this field was a little bit slower in a sense.
Yeah, we at practice we started noticing that like, so our call for our Dorito 50 is Mexico. So
writing that down.
Yeah, that's fine.
Write that down.
Got it.
So like we started realizing we were watching a lot of different people at practice, and then our practice as well. People would get to the Mexico and it didn't matter, because like if we were alive on Snake side, or if just Chavez is in the Delta, the little W, like they still didn't have any kills besides a gunfight, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So like we quickly realized Snake side can get easy quick kills or shoot bounce shots into the D side.
Yeah.
And just murder everyone over there. So we were like, why don't we just force it on the Snake side and then have our D side home players shoot and release up, and then either myself or Cyrus go up or out, or vice versa. And then, hey, Jonathan, just don't try to go to their side, because you go to their side, they can just come stick you. Nobody can help you. But if they're in the beast, which was that tower, I can help you from the back center. Trenton can help you from the center, or Cyrus at the tournament. Cyrus ended up playing center more. So then at the tournament, it was Cyrus can come switch, or I can get to the Aztec and help you. So we were like, the Snake side's the win side. Like, as long, and then we didn't want to go to their 50 Snake, because if they make the Snake, which was so easy to do, they can just crawl to you and shoot you. And if your guy happens to be inside, now they own the Snake. So we were like, fuck that. Let's just be in the center, use you as bait in the Snake, make them come up, like what Cyrus did to JC, right? Like, let's be in the Snake, but far back, where when JC comes up, because he's an aggressive Snake player, Cyrus, you're just playing whack-a-mole, just shoot his ass, right? And then, like, using that as bait. And then D-side was like, okay, if Impact wants to play 2 over there, great. Because now it, in a sense, is a 2-on-2 with a center guy that we can just go, hey, switch real quick. And that's what Chavez did so well this event, was like, he would be in that W and go, he would yell the zone, and there was almost
what was the call? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Oh, I said it. He would yell the zone, and then pretty much our entire team, situational awareness, would just switch and shoot it, besides, well, the center guy. Because the center guy with Cyrus, his whole primary job was, you're just going to make sure that their Snake gets baited into your gun, because they hear Snake and they think, I got to get to the Alamo, right? Like, get to our side. So that was kind of how we thought the layout played, was D side, you can win it, but it has to be multiple kills, either off break, or you got to win a bunch of gunfights, which Jonathan did very well. But it was also like, hey, if you just utilize your teammate right next to you, we can bait that guy into thinking he can go, and it's just a free kill. And I felt like Cyrus and Chavez were so good at the read and react of, hey, I'm going to let this guy go, shoot this motherfucker, and hitting that shot, if that makes sense. Like, Chavez was really good at setting up Trenton or myself in the home to do that. And then Cyrus was really good at, every time we were like, hey, there's a Snake, it's this zone, he knew that means you're on an island, play the whack-a-mole game, and he would connect with that shot, and That's how we felt the field had to play.
And not only that, but I think, Chavez, you did a really good job. I think in the first 2 points, even though you guys lost the first two, you're the one who shot JC out of the snake from just being in that Dorito, because you're right. Like, the snake was so easy to overextend, and this is how it works on pretty much every field layout. Like, you just assume the spot's hot, and if you know that the game plan is to allow them into your end of the field, then just be prepared for that and don't get shot by the guy, right? If you know the guy's coming, he's already shown his hand. So with that knowledge, you should be prepared not to be shot by that guy. So, and you're absolutely right. Like, you can go into the middle, and the middle guy can stop the snake guy from coming down the field, and then your snake guy can stop your middle guy from getting bunkered. You know, and that was kind of like when we were playing Shock, we had the same thing. Like, Shock never ran to the middle off the break. It was always A-Rod on an option. Once, like, he knew someone was in there, he would just put his bayonet on and charge down the field. Try to go bonus ball somebody. And so we're like, we'll just go to snake 3 or 4 and look inside, and then go to the middle and shake the bushes, and then here comes A-Rod running down the field. Like, we're going to shoot him. It's like it's a guarantee. So unless someone was in there off the break to neutralize one of you guys, that was really the only way kind of back in it, you know, unless they kind of got onto your side in the Doritos, but you guys already obviously had that dialed in. And I mean, in watching your guys' game, again, I can't say this enough, but you guys need to go, everybody watching this needs to go and watch their matches to see how they played it out. And I mean, you guys were also just you guys were hitting your shots. Like, even when I think Cyrus, you and Serge were up in the middle, and like you shot both of those, like you connected on your shot and he didn't connect on his, and then you shot the Kirill running up there. Like, a lot of it has to do with individual skill. A lot of it has to do with your game plan. A lot of it has to do with everybody clocking in at the exact same moment. And to win a tournament, everybody has to be playing their absolute best. And if anybody's playing at a level 8, someone needs to be playing at a level 12, right? You can't get by with just a couple of guys not doing well, unless there's one dude that's just absolutely stunning. But I think that all of you guys contributed like so perfectly in like this harmony that allowed you guys to not only like win all your games with the exception of the Impact game, but win all the other games, which is so convincingly, but then beat Impact in this crazy comeback, and then having all that pressure of not only playing in overtime at World Cup in front of a rowdy fan base, but doing it in your rookie season, and then actually playing a match where it was like, okay, we've got our 2 points, you got your 2 points. What's your best game plan? Here's our best game plan. And then you guys showed up and beat them. And a lot of that had to do with, you know, the confidence in your game plans, the confidence in your players, and saying, Cyrus, dive into this thing, get up there if you make on a read option, because a lot of people don't understand how that works. You know, like, you're going to go up there if you feel it. And hopefully you feel it because you're playing good. You know, there's like so many different variables that come into that. But the number one is trust. Right? We trust you're going to do this. Like, we trust that Archie was going to do that, and Impact did such a good job of neutralizing Archie. And we just didn't have an answer for that, and you guys did. And that was very, very impressive. It was really fun to watch. It was awesome. I'm so glad that it ended in the way it did, because otherwise a 2-0 victory would have been super boring and lame.
You're telling me.
I mean, everyone I think was thinking that.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, and Ronnie Dizon's in here. He's like, dude, I ended up throwing my chair at the end of it. It was such an epic comeback, and it was such a well-deserved moment, you know, because even when you guys were 3-on-5, and I think it was at no point, like, you guys were still decided, like, hey, we're gonna make it. We're gonna try to make it happen, and it like kind of started to happen. And so, you know, you guys have it, and it was you guys are very impressive. You guys are playing really well.
Thank you.
Cyrus, is it true you're from Florida and you wore cowboy hats in Florida?
So
you guys don't shake your head and say yes. I want to hear it from him. He looks like a bucket hat man. Like, a bucket hats are synonymous with Florida. So let's hear about the cowboy hat.
Have you ever heard of like Panama City Beach, like the kind of like the redneck area of Florida?
I thought that's where motorcycles.
That's Daytona Beach.
Oh, okay.
Daytona Beach is also there, but the Panama City Beach is kind of like every country song, right? Like, they mention Panama City Beach.
Every country song.
Just about.
I don't listen to enough country, so maybe I can't say you're wrong, but.
Well, also like it's also like that area people call it like Lower Alabama. So like I got a little hick in me. So.
Wait, so you wear cowboy hats in Alabama also?
Yeah, some people do. It's not just a Texas thing.
Do you genuinely think it's just a Texas thing?
I mean, Texas, Montana, Wyoming.
My
Kansas,
family,
maybe.
My
I mean,
family
Alabama.
also owns,
I feel like
a
the
farm.
girls at the sororities wear the the cowboy hats, but I mean Daytona Beach. I feel like you wear shorts and you get sunburned.
Panama.
Maybe
Panama
in
Beach.
Daytona,
Panama,
but Panama
whatever.
City,
Yeah.
very different.
Okay. I'll give it to you.
How'd the Play the Game podcast go?
It was good.
Nice.
I felt like I had to be a lot more formal just because like that's kind of their vibe. But
So you wore the cowboy hat on their show, and you wore the
oh,
bucket hat on
absolutely,
ours. Okay, I see.
absolutely, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, ours is
I have
more
to
laid
watch
back.
their
It's like a hangout.
Yeah,
Come drink
it
some
definitely
beers.
has that feel.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. So why don't you give so you just did a PTG wrap up with them about the event and all that. So is that live right now?
Yeah, I think they already posted it.
So everybody who's on here, you guys get a marathon of paintball and a marathon of paintball fit in general. When we're done with this show here shortly, you guys can go tune into the PTG podcast and make sure you give them a listen and learn a little bit more about Cyrus and where the cowboy hat and the bucket hat come from, and how he played the middle and whatever else you guys talked about. I don't want to spoil it.
Just about everything.
Just about everything. Well, awesome, dude. I really appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you, Colt. You guys are running a really good system over there. It's nice of you to let everybody have a day off and they don't have to practice tomorrow. We got you a day off tomorrow, Cyrus, so you don't have to go to the field. I don't know if you heard.
Nice.
Yeah.
But you do have to go unload the trailer.
You don't have to play, but you got to unload
See
the
you
trailer.
at 6 a.m.
Thankfully, I'm not an employee at Pate, so
It comes with the territory. But dude, congratulations, you guys. This is awesome. Hopefully, we've been nice enough to you here that you can give us a break next time we play you. And
Of course not.
I've got Alamo and Mexico written down, so those are also two codes that we use. So not really.
It's
gonna
funny
help me
because
much.
they have a lot of same. We Diesel and Fit. We use a lot of same codes. So when we're playing them, I was about to yell I'm like, wait, they know that bunker because it's the same bunker. I can't yell it. I'll just let them figure it out.
that is funny.
But yeah, man. Do you guys want to shout out any sponsors, any fiancés, girlfriends, wives? I don't think you guys have children, so.
I'll go first. Honestly, shout out to the wife, of course, letting me do this, even though I've been away for her for a whole week. So taking some more time away from paintball after coming back from paintball, definitely appreciate that. So still alive here, so that's good. But also shout out to pretty much all the fans and supporters who, never doubted us, and also the people who did doubt us. Thank you for the fuel. And, last but not least, to the Luckau family, Colt, my boys, love them to death. Whenever, ever, and just to stay on the podcast. I hope never ever go anywhere. So, all the people that try to hit me up, good luck. Good luck. Because it's all going down.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, shout out GI Sports, Planet Eclipse, the Virtue Control Loaders, Hydra Fit, and and just the squad, and like Chavez said, all the fans, all the support. I mean, that was massive at Cup. I feel like that almost fueled us every match, right? That, and then like he said, man, the doubters. We got a lot of fuel. We got a lot of people to prove wrong. We've been doing it literally our entire career, proving people wrong every tournament. So excited for next year and keep this squad going and try to make something special and keep changing history.
Oh yeah.
Right on, man.
My girlfriend's hoping not watching this, but I can thank her.
And thank you to Madison Drake. She runs our entire booth. That's my fiance.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's literally she's at every event and she's running
Rocking
the
it.
booth the entire time. She runs all of our customer service for Hydra. So literally right now she's probably answering an email.
Mm-hmm.
She's
She
literally
can.
the only reason that I'm able to do what I do.
She only knew that you guys won because you had a cigar in your mouth when you came back to the booth. She's like, oh, you must have won. Cool. Break down this damn booth.
Yeah, 100%.
I've been here all day. I've been here all day.
Yeah.
All right, man. Right on, dude. You guys are awesome. And I wish you guys continued success as long as it's not against us, as I do with everybody, even Kyle. I want you guys all to succeed as long as we're not playing you. But other than that, man, it's 99% of the time.
Appreciate you, Ryan.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, yeah, guys. Thanks
Appreciate
for
you
coming
on.
Thank you for having us.
Congrats again.
Yeah.
Congrats, guys.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Later, guys.
Later, guys. Dude, epic.
Yeah, awesome.
Epic.
Humble win there.
Dude, right?
You guys have put in some good work. Yeah.
And I think that's a good like lesson, right? Lesson learned is and it's so great that we had that episode about confidence and hubris and just like, man, dude, thanks for all the hate, you know?
Yeah.
And then you want to give it to me? I guess I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
I'll hold this lane and
Yeah.
give you a couple. And you know, they can play against the best of them. They can chirp with the best of them. And they are crowd pleasers too, you know? And I love that. And it's great. Make sure, again, I can't stress it. I can't say it enough to watch that final. I know that a lot of people say that again about matches we've said. And I think, what was it? Bobby was like, that was the best match ever in the history of, I'm like, it's what everybody says every year. But from my point of view, that was great. I haven't really watched any of our finals, but go to Major League Paintball. Was it Major League Plus?
I would say, yeah. I don't know where it is now. It's somewhere. Major League Plus.
MajorLeaguePaintball.com.
I think Go Sports will take you to it. That was a good final, especially, well, obviously, the end part. My favorite was still that, like, probably the 2019 with Russians and Heat when it was like 6-5 and it was just like back and forth.
Slam.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to watch. Entertaining wise.
Yeah, and that's what you want. But I mean, cool, great story too.
Yeah.
How
many? I was gonna ask. Like, I don't know if there's anywhere to like look it up, but it'd be interesting to see it laid out. Like the teams that have won World Cup in the past like 15 years hasn't only been like 4 teams.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's funny you say that. Yes, the only teams that have won World Cup since the inception of this league was us, Impact, Heat,
Russian.
We were just talking about it. It was us, Impact, Heat. Was it Damage? And then Fit. I think it was only 4 or 5 teams. I don't know.
Damage, someone X-Factor.
Someone in the comments will be able to tell. But like, yeah, since 2015, there's only been a couple of winners in the World Cup, which is actually like kind of crazy if you think about that. Yeah, big time.
Oh, it is.
I'm gonna spin the wheel real quick. We unwrap that tie-dye shirt. I've got a couple of these tie-dye shirts, and then for the mega members, we got a signed pod caddy and a $100 BFP Gear. This one's cool. You can unwrap it.
I like this one.
Pull it out. This is awesome.
Yeah,
we had these at World Cup. I just didn't know because they were at the Dynasty booth. Peter Sturgis.
Yeah, the colors on this are great. I almost wore this today, actually.
I did, actually. I put this on literally as soon as Camille and Sloan came home from school.
Then a baby
I put it on, and then Miles threw up on me, and I was like, you know what? I can clean this. So I wiped it off, the 3 giant puddles of throw up, and I was like, I'm still going to wear it. And then he barfed even more on me, like a lot. And Camille goes, I don't think you're going to be able to wear that one. So then I put this thing on and ran down here. Also,
they didn't do a move of the event yet, right? That we're
not yet.
From Pate and Maddie.
Yeah, because you guys are presenting the move of the event to the finals.
Tiger Pate.
Tiger.
Got some World Cup special edition headbands.
Chudo! Also, Timothy Bangs. Oh, I don't want to dox you. Well, I guess this isn't your address anymore.
You're about to yell it out loud?
No, I was about to show it to everybody, but it doesn't matter because Timothy Bangs. I got a returned package from you. Okay, so also this off season we've got a bunch of we got great guests. We got a lot of cool stuff.
I also meant to ask them if they had any rumors for us, if they had heard anything.
Them?
Yeah, maybe they did.
Maybe. I don't know. we're gonna hit the rumors. This is gonna be a crazy offseason. It's
For sure.
It's a guarantee to be a crazy
Just warming
offseason.
up.
It hasn't even started yet.
Yeah.
But it has had started.
I think everyone's taking like a couple days.
I
Rest
mean,
their brains.
there's definitely been.
It's already going on.
It's happening. It's happening already.
I thought you said you already heard some rumors.
Yeah, I mean, there's some that I'm not. I'm not. They're not here yet. I can't put the juicy up. But next week, I think maybe. We've got guests lined up. Junior from BFP Gear is gonna come on. We're gonna nail him down. If you're watching this, Junior, thank you for sticking all the way through for this whole time from BFPgear.com. But we're gonna get him on because he's got a really cool story to tell. We're gonna get Billy Saransky back on.
Oh, nice.
Okay, Core and JT are gonna be branching out big time into regional events and regional sponsorships. So if you join the Imperial program, there's some really cool opportunities for teams to get great deals on team packages, custom everything, jerseys, pants, shirts, the whole deal. And then deals on paint, all across the board, paint credits for you when you win. So yeah, JT, GI, and Core are all going to be showing up big for the regional events, so WCPPL included. And then Matt the Gym Rat, which I talked to him. Finally I was like, we need to talk to him. We're going to happen. It's going to happen. We're going to get him on because he's been doing cool things. He does really good job with everything. So yeah, we've got a whoops, wrong button. We've got a that's such a great banner. Mega support status wheels. Let's go with the Gen X pod caddy right here, signed black. This is the one that was supposed to be adorned by Damian Vasquez, but instead he's opted to get tased. So Gunnar Dixon.
Yeah, I think that's what he meant when he said, "I'm not getting pepper sprayed." I wanted to be like, so you're choosing the other one.
Yeah. Maybe we just take this and we just whap him every when we have a 60-second timer, and every 60 seconds we gotta hit him like in the nose or something.
Yeah.
This is for Benjamin News is getting $100 courtesy of BFP Gear. Where is it? I put it right there. There we go. BFPgear.com. And Junior, thank you guys so much for all the support. This was a fantastic show. This was maybe one of our best shows.
Yeah.
We say that a lot, but I'm saying this might be one of our best shows.
Yeah.
We got over 1,000 views already on the stream. Big shout out, thank you Doc for sticking with us. Thank you for we're gonna get some clips queued up here, and we're gonna take a look at the new Great American Paintball magazine. Make sure you guys stay tuned. We're gonna be giving away this NECTR Force right here in a couple of weeks with a lot of other great prizes and cool giveaways. And big thanks to the PB and congratulations to all the guys from PB Fit. Colt, Cyrus, Chavez, thank you guys for joining us. Great show.
Till next week.
Till next week.
Get the rumors popping.
See what
happens. I'm sure there'll be a lot already by next
So,
Tuesday.
let me ask you this. At the end of the year, after World Cup's over, where does Paintball Fit rank? Where are you guys at? 1 through 20? I think top 12.
Okay.
All right. I feel like that's a realistic goal.
I agree with that.
That's the goal, right? I'd like to say top 10, but you just never know, right? Like I said, the goal is to win an event, but I think a realistic goal is top 12.